In this demonstration, we're going to have a look at how to install the endpoint protection point role. We'll then monitor the site system component installation status and finally just configure the client settings for endpoint protection. So what we've done here is we've come into our System Center Configuration Manager console. We're going to come down to our administration workspace. Within our administration workspace, we're going to go to site configuration, and then within site configuration, we want to go to servers and site system roles. Then what we'll do is we'll just right click on our lon-cfg server, and what we're going to do here is we're going to add some site system roles. On the general page, we're not going to modify any of the settings, so we'll select next. We're not going to bother with any proxy settings, so we'll select next. Then just on the system role selection, what we want is we want this to be an endpoint protection point. It's just telling us by default it does use config manager software updates to deploy anti-malware definition updates. Before we deploy the endpoint protection clients, ensure that we have configured the software updates in our hierarchy or configured our anti-malware policies to use an alternate definition update method. We're happy with that warning, so we'll select OK. Now that we've done this, what we'll do is we'll select next. We'll read through the license agreement. Once we've read that, we will accept the terms, and then we'll select next. Next thing we get is we get our Microsoft Active Protection. We don't want to take part in this, so we'll say do not join maps and select next. Just on the summary page, have a quick read through, select next again. On the summary page, we're happy with everything, so we'll select close. And now what we want to do is we just actually want to monitor the system status. So what we'll do is we'll come to our monitoring workspace. In our monitoring workspace, we're just going to go to system status. And within system status, we'll go to component status. And then what we'll do is we just need to find our SMS endpoint protection manager. So we'll scroll this down. Like so, we're looking for the SMS endpoint. Which we have here. So we'll just right click, we'll show the messages, and we should show all messages. And we're not getting any messages back, so that's fine. So we'll just close down status message. Now that's done, the next thing to do here is we just need to configure some default client settings. So all we're going to do is come to our administration workspace again. Within our administration workspace, we're just going to go to client settings. And within client settings, we're just going to modify the default client settings. So we'll right click and go to properties. And what we want to do here is we just want to look at the endpoint protection settings. So as you can see here, we've got quite a few settings in place. So manage endpoint protection client on client computers. So yes or no. We can see we've got some grayed out. If we just change this to yes, we can see that it ungrays quite a few of the settings, but we'll just set this back to no. So what we have here is we have install endpoint protection client on client computers will be yes if we change this to yes. So let's actually change this to yes. Automatically remove previously installed anti-malware. Yes, we're happy with that. Allow the endpoint protection client installation and restarts outside maintenance windows. So at this point here, it's up to us to decide whether we want to turn this on or off. We've then got for Windows embedded devices, with write filters, commit endpoint client, yes. Suppress any required computer restarts after the endpoint protection, yes, we'll do this. Allowed period of time users can postpone a restart, we've got 24 hours at this point. And disable alternate sources, such as Microsoft Update, yes, we want Config Manager to control all of this. Now that we've actually enabled this with the default settings, we would now push this policy out to our end users and allow System Center Config Manager to manage their endpoint protection. So select OK. And that's the end of this demonstration. Thanks very much.